everybody, I'm Pietrowski and I'm an industrial hygienist, and this is a YouTube video to talk about working from home with a laptop. With the ongoing pandemic, and even as things start to get back to normal, many companies have really embraced teleworking, so it looks like this is here to stay, which is a good thing. But many of us are working from home with a laptop, which may be sitting at our kitchen table or even on the couch or the bed. And a lot of times that's with the laptop on our laps, kind of leaning over it, causing a lot of stress and strain to our necks and shoulders and back. So as an industrial hygienist, I've done a lot of ergonomics, and I would go around to people's workstations in the office and help them figure out a better way to set up their workstations so that they would cause less stress and strain to their necks and backs and shoulders and even their arms as they were working throughout the day. So I wanted to provide some tips on how to better set up a workstation at your house with your laptop. Now, as I'm going to go over some rules of thumb, but the first thing to think about whenever you're setting up a workstation and whenever you're doing any type of work is to listen to your body. If you're ever in any pain, then you need to stop and think about what about your body position is causing that pain and make adjustments. So let's take a look at the chair. The chair that I'm using is the regular wooden chair that goes with the table. So I do have a chair pad on my chair, but you don't necessarily have to have it. It's just something that I like. So the next thing is, for my first rule of thumb, is to protect your back. So I'm just using a regular pillow, and you want to put that in the small of your back whenever you sit down. So when I sit down, I actually do put this in the small of my back and sit down. And then you want to think about how you're sitting whenever you sit. So second rule of thumb is the 90-90-90 rule. And you want your leg at the knee at 90 degrees, your body at your hip in 90 degrees, and then your elbow as you're typing in a 90-degree angle. So the second rule of thumb has to do with the monitor height. You want to make sure that your height of the monitor is at your eye level. So get whatever you've got around the house to raise your monitor up to your eye level. I've just used some boxes and a book to make sure that it's at my eye level. The third rule of thumb is to make sure that that monitor is an arm length away, and then you can vary this by whatever your eyesight is. If you're nearsighted, farsighted, then you just slide this back and forth based on where you need it for your eyesight. And then the next thing to think about is, because this monitor is now up here, you actually are not able to use this keyboard because that would take you out of your neutral posture and add stress and strain to your neck and shoulders and lower back. So you will have to get a keyboard tray and a mouse. So you make sure you get those, and then you can sit back in your chair, maintain that 90-90-90, and then you can, if you want to, vary the incline of your back up to 100 degrees just for a little added comfort, and then you're able to just sit comfortably and tight. If you want to add a little more comfort, you can add wrist support for your keyboard and your mouse, just to keep your wrists from the hard edges of the table. The fifth and last rule of thumb has to do with breaks. So make sure you the rule of thumb is to take a break, one break every 60 minutes. A lot of people find this difficult to do because work is so busy, and they're actually finding that we tend to work more whenever we're working from home. But breaks are very important for your body. So get up, move. If you can't take a break every hour, then every 2 to 3 hours, every 2 to 4 hours, whatever you can do. It just helps your body, helps clear your mind, helps you think. Go to the kitchen, get a glass of water, go outside, take a walk. If you can't actually get up because you're too busy, just do some shoulder rolls, roll your head a little bit. A good break for your eyes is to focus on an object up close and then focus on one in the distance. Do that about 10 times, and that gives your eyes a break from the computer screen. So that's a real good one just to do for your eyes. Now, if you want to set up a standing workstation or vary between the two, that's an excellent idea. Gives you a nice break from sitting all day. And so you can do this exact same setup, but do it at your kitchen counter, because your kitchen counter is already set up at the right height for standing. And just make sure that your monitor is put up at your eye level, so you would have to build up something at your kitchen counter. And then the only variation would be, of course, you can't do the 90-90-90 rule. So you would want to keep your legs straight, your hips in line and straight, but you could add a nice little footstool to be able to just prop one foot up and then vary that a little bit. Just make sure you don't stand with your hips cocked over to one side, because that's not ergonomically correct. You do want to keep your hips as straight as possible, even with your foot up. So just to do a little summary, biggest thing is to listen to your body. Make sure that you're not doing anything that causes you pain, and those breaks are critical. Make sure that you're doing some movement, because no posture, even the neutral posture, is good for 8 hours a day. Static postures aren't good. And make sure your monitor is at the right height and distance. Remember the 90-90-90 rule, and either sit or stand, or a combination of both is actually ideal for you. And I hope these tips help you out, and thank you for listening.